Considering how well this did financially, you can say it did a lot of carnage at the box office. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about a release that I'm a little late to talk about, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Before we begin, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, or if you were planning on seeing it, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my content out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's jump right into it and let's talk about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This once again stars Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, who attempts to reignite his career by interviewing serial killer Cletus Kasady, played by Woody Harrelson, who becomes the host of the symbiote Carnage and escapes prison after a failed execution. This time, Andy Serkis takes over for Ruben Fleischer as director, and it picks up sometime after where we left off in the post-credits scene of the first movie, where we're first introduced to Cletus Kasady, and it basically offers us exactly what it said it was going to deliver. It's first Brock against Kasady, which later turns into a battle between Venom and Carnage themselves, and it does so in a very tightly paced 90-minute blockbuster. Now, I know the first Venom wasn't exactly received all that well, but as I said in my review for that film, I really don't think it's bad. It's not the deepest or most consistent movie out there, but it was fun, with a much more humorous tone than it let on, and it was anchored by Tom Hardy's incredibly entertaining performance as both Brock and Venom. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way, as it does have its following. And as for this movie, well, it's basically going to come down to how much or how little you enjoyed that first film. If you liked it, chances are you'll more than likely get a kick out of this. But if you couldn't get on board with it, I can see this only mildly winning you over at best, or you'll maybe be indifferent towards it. Because this is basically all the best parts of the first movie, just cranked up a notch. It cuts out a lot of the tonal inconsistencies that plagued the first movie. Not all, but most of them. And it doubles down on its humor, its action, and especially the interactions between Brock and Venom. Fans of their dynamic from the first movie will be very happy to see a lot more bickering, quips, and arguing, with the two forming something of a bromance. Eddie now has this agreement with Venom that he helps him attempt to be more of a good guy in exchange for satisfying his huge appetite by giving him a diet of chicken and chocolate, which have nutrients the symbiote specifically needs. And they even have an agreement worked out with the storekeeper, Mrs. Chen, from the first film, as she supports them, which made for some fun exchanges. And the film doubles down on their odd couple-like relationship, with Venom attempting to act on his own while in Eddie's apartment at times, only to create a giant mess. Most of the humor is a lot of variation of these sort of jokes, but because of just how committed Tom Hardy is as both characters, and because of just how out there some of these scenarios are, I found them to be a lot of fun. And it tones down considerably on the melodramatic aspects that the first film struggled with, even if not completely. Michelle Williams and Reed Scott, who play Brock's ex-fiancée Anne and her new boyfriend Dan, aren't quite in this as much, though they still do play a crucial role, and a lot of the more emotional bickering and attempts to get back into Anne's good graces, as we saw in the first film, aren't as prevalent, which I appreciated, as they didn't quite work there. Especially as the film found a lot of emotion by focusing on other dynamics, like between Eddie and Venom, Eddie and Kasady, or Kasady and his love interest Francis, played by Naomi Harris, as well as a detective played by Stephen Graham. And with this shift in focus, I found this movie to work a lot better. I found this to be an absolute blast, and I enjoyed it considerably more than the first film, which I did also enjoy, especially with that 90-minute runtime, which I know is rare these days for a superhero movie. I know we're used to them all being a minimum of 2 hours, usually 2.5, because with the amount of backstory they try covering, it feels like 90 minutes isn't enough. But in this case, it is, especially since it's basically a superhero comedy, even if it'll never officially be called that. But the tone clearly indicates as much, and usually because comedies lend themselves to quicker paces, 90 minutes is just fine. I know some people will think that might not be enough, but for the most part, it worked to the film's advantage. The only area where I thought it could have maybe used some work is the handling of Naomi Harris's character, who goes by Shriek in the comics, though I believe isn't referred to that here. I thought she was one of the most underutilized here, which is a shame considering Naomi Harris has shown to be absolutely fantastic in whatever film she's in. And not that the film does absolutely nothing with her, as a big part of Cletus's arc is that he's trying to reunite with Francis, and she has a vendetta against a detective played by Graham because he shot her in the eye when they first crossed paths. And these would be the only times the film would dip a little back into that melodramatic territory we got in the first film, though it's not quite as jarring here. But while she had some solid backstory, I felt once she was brought into the fold, she was mainly on the sidelines the entire time. She only gets to do her signature power like a couple of times, and I was a bit disappointed there, as I feel there was so much more you could have done with her, and I know Harris would have absolutely rocked whatever it was, so it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Though to be clear, she is fine with what she's given to do. As is Woody Harrelson, who I honestly was shocked to be revealed as Kasady at the end of the last movie, as I just wasn't expecting that casting. But it works here. He's always been very good at chewing up the scenery, even in roles that are more meant to be somewhat straightforward. But when he gets his chance to be over the top, he really goes all out, and he does so again here. I mean, I don't know if I'd say this is the definitive version of Carnage or anything, but the effects for the character look fantastic, and Harrelson fits right in with the tone this movie's going for, and he makes for a significant improvement from the first film's villain. I thought his interactions with Brock were great, even if some of his lines were a bit corny, and the fight scenes with Carnage were pretty solid for what they were, and anytime they were on screen, duking it out, it was a blast. Venom Let There Be Carnage is a bigger, bolder version of the first film, and it's ultimately going to be for better or worse. For the most part, your feelings off this will be based off how you felt about the first movie. And for me, I had a lot of fun with it. It's very funny, full of great action, moves at a nice quick pace, and has a tone that I was all on board with. Anchored once again by Tom Hardy, along with some great support by Woody Harrelson, this one is certainly worth the watch. Venom Let There Be Carnage gets an 8 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Venom Let There Be Carnage, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like this more than the first one? Do you like either of these movies at all? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.